I wanted to record today more. I have I had done that in the morning, but now I needed to. I wanted to recording something about what happened today. That I got a postcard. I don't get any mail or postcard from anyone. But so I'm wondering who had sent me a postcard, and I check it, I look it, and read it, and it was from my daughter, and she wrote only simple text. She wrote me and said, I felt like I wanted to write to you and tell you that I love you and you means so much for me. She wrote it to me, and for 2-3 days ago she chat with me on Facebook, but it was Saturday or Friday evening, and it's always nice programs on television to watch. So I watched television, and it was interesting on television. So I said to her that I was away from the computer and watch television, so I didn't chat with her so much. But she wrote me that she wanted only to tell me how much she loved me. So something have happened, something that have make her change her way to think, and it's hard to know what it is, what have caused her to write these things, because she had never done that before. And when she chat with me on Saturday, Friday, I was thinking maybe it's something she wants to tell me, but it's hard to talk to her as she live with in the church, and she is always cleaning up or do something in some cleaning or bakery things for the church. So there is coming people in and out, and I never know if someone is there and listen to us. So it's hard to ask her, and she is very strange in that way, that she hold back. She never talk about her life, or and especially she doesn't talk about other people. It's hard to get to know something about her father and her half brother, what's going on with them. She never tell, and she was so when she was a child also. There was a girl that was like envy her, and my daughter had early in young age, 5-6 years old, when she got eyeglasses, and And one day it was a girl that pushed my daughter out in the stairs, and she fallen. Her glasses was broken, and she could have got the glass in her eyes, but she didn't. And I was very upset and wanted to know who did that to her, but she never said that. It was always this. You couldn't ask her who was mean to her. Like in another episode, I say that the teacher asked her why she didn't have any friends in the school, and it was hard to know if someone was evil to her. Her class was evil to her. It was hard to know. We tried to hear from her, but she had been the same the whole time. She was born like that, to not say anything about other people, not evil, not what if they have been evil, and not when not either if they were nice to her. She didn't say anything about anyone. Not the good things they have done or bad things they have done. So, and I was used with that, so it's hard for me today to ask her what's going on, and in it doesn't matter for me anymore. It's so very sad that I have been so used with to be by myself and no one care, and I feel a little like a hope that she have changed her mind, that she understand my life, what have been going on in my life, and understand, because she was with me when the highest priest come, and then God was talking to me. She was there. She could have been my witness about what happened, but she had not told anyone about it. So I have been angry about that she don't help me for people to come to understand that this is true, because my daughter don't lie. She always say the truth, and if she have told the church that God come and talk to us or talk to me, and she was in the room and heard it, I thought she had heard it, but I don't think she heard it. I think she heard only me talking to someone in the air that she didn't see, and I'd be very surprised. She have been in her church for 5 years, lived with the pastor, lived with all the people in the church, and it was her birthday, and the whole church come and celebrate her on her birthday, and I was making food for this birthday party. And when we sit and talk, I say that I talk about Texas, and people be so surprised. What? What do you say? I say that Rebecca, my daughter, Rebecca, she had been in a school in Texas. She was in a school in Texas. We lived in Texas. And they be so surprised because no one have talked, no one have know that. And my daughter's church is a cowboy church. They have their name now is Lone Star, like the state Texas, the flag there, and they have everything from Texas, and the pastor's family and friends, those closest that got all the money, they visit Texas many times a year, and then my daughter have not told them that she have lived and been in a school in Texas. So that's how my daughter is. So that it's, I can't tell that is wrong with the church that do it, because she have not wanted to talk about it. But I think she must say something. But she have not. She have been quiet and only go follower of the pastor and the church, and not take anything for herself. She have been this perfect follower for a pastor. She have given them very much money. She don't earn any money from the church, even if she worked there many hours per week, almost 24 hours per day, and she don't get any money. And it's I have checked it with the Swedish law. It says that if there is an agreement to only help in the church, then they can't say anything. The law is not wrong. So they could use her to work hard, and they got the money from her hard work. And then she have her father that is very wealthy, and she have called him and said she needed some money, and then she gave it to the church. So they have got very much money from her, this church, and it is a Jesus lover church. It's only Jesus. So she have not coming more forward. She have not developed anything in this. She come there about 2001, so 21 years have she not moved forward. And as it is today, what's going on very much around the world is that people today is tired of hearing the same preaching the whole time in the church. They want to know more now. They want to go forward, and they can't go forward in the church because they are so frightened to lose those people that they get money from. So they stay with the same doctrine and same scripture and same preaching, same sermon the whole time. And it doesn't work anymore. It have been working for many, many years to do this, to repeat, and repeat. But today is different. It's people have no time to sit and listen on old repeating things. Is this, we have this stress with time nowadays, today. So it changed the whole thing that we want to know more, and most of things in life, subjects, topics, we can look at it on the internet and see what's going on. But it's different with religion. There is you get the same answer, the same scripture like in a church, and I think that people scroll internet and try to find a new answer of their questions, and they don't get it because it's exactly the same answer that is in the church as they have on internet, on their websites. So it make people go away from the church, go away from religion. And I think it's very sad if God lose people in that way. So people not only walk away from the church or where they are in religion, and walk away from everything, not only those gathering places, but also from God. And it's a little scaring about it, because as I have said, and we have heard it many times from the spirit world, that we have a relationship with God, and if people break it and walk away from God, then is it that we lose that silver line, to heaven, that make them come here and help us? Then they go away because there is so many other planets where there is a living creature that need them also, so they can move away or only stand still and not do anything, not act anything. And then are we doomed? Then is the devil's place this planet. So it's I think it's very dangerous for us, that it can be very bad for this planet if we not change it and help people to find out more than what they get from the gathering place with those men that only want the money from people and hold. I believe when I was in United States and was in the church, in different churches, and there was some preacher that look like they holding back what they knew. I think it was true. I felt it like that because they were very spirit-filled pastors that I talked to. But when they're preaching the same thing. So it was like I heard from God is telling me that they don't preach everything they know, and that it kicked them back. They kick the church back. They bite in their own tail, like we say here in Sweden. They did wrong for themselves when they don't lie for people, but they hold back what they know more than what they preach, and that doesn't work today. And I was thinking I should talk about my daughter. There is some to talk about, because I am not like her, the holding back. And I was a proud mother, because my daughter was very intelligent when she was a child. And as I say in another episode, that she was picked out from her school to go in a special school for more intelligent children, where the royals children were. But then those students, her friends in the school, they envy her for traveling so much abroad that summer, and she find another school because she was thinking that a Christian school could not be so evil to her, bully her. So she come to that church that had a school, and then she had been there in 21 years. And so I'm wondering if she had started to be like it is nowadays with young people, that they are tired of hearing the same thing. And I had never problem with my daughter as a child. It was never anything I can't say funny things about her when she was a child, because she was so intelligent, she was so smart. So she didn't do that because she knew what to do. And I was talking about this with the flag and languages she could speak, and I thought it was very fun when she was about 4 or 5 years old, and her friends come to her and they watch My Little Pony on television. And it was in France, it was in English, it was in German languages. And my daughters, her friends say, but they don't speak in Swedish. So I don't understand what they are saying. They say, and my daughter said, "Hey, it's okay. I can translate for you." She said she translated for them from French and German and English for them, because we have this satellite disc with all the children programs from the whole Europe. I think we had 4 satellite discs on our house, and it was open in that time. All channels was open. We didn't need to pay for it. So and then she was 2 years old, and she have just be rid of the diapers, and we were driving with the car down to the south of Germany on vacation, and of course she'd be tired. She was bored to sit in the car for hours. Her father, he is like that. When he start the car, then he never stop. And our daughter be bored. She didn't want to sit in a car for many hours. So she started to say that she need to go to the bathroom. And her father be very stressed, full of stress, because she have no diapers. So he didn't want to have her pee in the car. And she be so very stressed, and took our daughter to the bathroom, very running. And he said to me when he come in and placed her on the toilet chair, then she only jumping and laughing, and she didn't need to pee. And so it was only that she wanted to go out from the car, and she did it. She did it 3 times. Then the 3rd times we say that if you do these things for us in the car, jumping like that, to say that you need to go to the bathroom, we don't believe you, and then you pee on you if you doing these things. You have to tell truly to us that you need to go to the bathroom. We say to her, and she understood, and she was only 2 years old. So she didn't do that. She said that normally to us, that she needed to go to the bathroom, and she needed to do that. So that was one of the fun with her, but it was not like she didn't understood and we laugh about it. She never did any things. She understood everything, what to do, and so it was. We had au pair. I wanted to start to work, and so we needed to have someone that took care of our daughter when she was about 5 years old, 4 or 5 years old. So we were to Poland. We were to Poland, and we traveled around in Poland, and we had first placed an ad in a newspaper that we needed a au pair to take care of our child and the house when we were working. So we were driving around in Poland, and in that time, in the about 1990, there was people. It was poor in Poland before they had not joined the European Union, so they were by themselves and going away from Russia, and they were poor, and we were to many home, and in one room, in one home, in some places in Poland, the old people could speak German, so we could talk to people in German, and we find an old woman walking around, and we ask her about the address, and we have been to a village, a small village, and driving around, and we find the address, but that doesn't fit into a house. It doesn't look like a house. It looked like no one could live there. It was hole in the. It was houses of wood, and it was hole in the wood, so the snow and the rain could come inside the house. So no one could live there, we were thinking. But that woman, she go with us in our car, because everyone was impressed of our car. We have a Volvo, pretty new Volvo car. Everyone was, wow, what a car. So she wanted to go with us in the car, and she showed us that the same house that we were saying to each other, no one can live there. So we went down into that house, and they had animals inside their home. Now I have been to Kenya, so I've been not surprised when I saw that in Kenya. But this was the first time we saw that they let animals be inside the home, inside the kitchen. It was running, those chicken was running around there, and it come in a pig, and they put the pig away, don't go out with you, and it was filthy, and suddenly I be very ill, because I got the flea from those chicken and those animals that was so filthy, and I was full of red marks all over the body. But the man in the house, he helped me to clean it up, so it went down very fast on me. But it was a little scary out there in the poor village, and there is no doctor if it had happened something with me. And it was this man's wife that wanted to come to Sweden, and she had children, but they were, the youngest maybe was 10 years old, so she wanted to go with us to Sweden, but that was not what we wanted for our daughter. She was not so good in English either to talk to, and we were driving around in Poland, and we come to this young girl that we accepted for her to come to Sweden and work for us. And her mother was by herself with two young girls, and they have no refrigerator, for example, for the milk to place it in. I'm wondering, where do you store milk and butter and those things that need to stay cold? I said to this young girl that was good in English, and she said, we eat it up, and if we have left over, we threw it away. And it was hard for me. I have grown up to, and my mother always said to take care of the food, to store leftover food and not throw it away. So it was shocking for me to know, no wondering they were poor. And in that time when the mother was working in some industry, and in Poland in that time they got 1 liter milk every day from their job, so at least the family could get milk, but it was not done like, it was like taken directly from the cow. So there's much bacteria in it that was not good for us, but as we had lots of money when we were in Poland, we buy water for us to drink and not eat so much of the food if it was not really hot food, so the bacteria was gone in the food, and then we eat. So I learned about, I should not say that because many people in other countries, they eat inside in here, chikli in English. Chikli, this incest is inside swine and chicken and this. I thought it was only Mexican that did that in United States, as I was married in Texas and I saw it because we live together with Mexican people. But many American people like it, especially black people like this to eat, and I am only thinking about where it have been. But of course I eat sausage, and it have also nowadays is we can eat the skin on the sausage, but it's not done from animals today, so it's cleaner. But that what I come to know, and in Polish the name is flaki. So when we went to a restaurant in Poland, and we always check out so we didn't order flaki on the menu. So I learned some Polish. Dziękuję. I can't. It's hard today when I have other languages to speak. I know the Polish words, many words, but it's hard for me to pronounce it. Koperka, tak, many of these words. So this young girl come with us in our car back to Sweden, and she taught my daughter English, and it was so we were so happy when we heard our daughter speaking in English. And one morning, laying in the bed, and my daughter had wake up, and it was when she started the school, when she was 6 years old, and she said that to the au pair, "I want that dress," she said. What? That was the first time we heard her speak English. And then we started to speak English to our daughter, because in the school she speaks Swedish. So we were thinking it was okay to speak English to her, so she learned English, and her father and I speak also German, so she learned German also. And she could speak 5 languages, and when she was in the school, she wanted to learn more languages. She wanted to learn Chinese and Russia. And the teacher said to her that 5 languages is enough for you. Your brain can't take too much languages. But I'm not pretty sure of it. If she couldn't learn more languages, but she know it today. She know Russia, because her church, they have every summer, it's coming young people from Ukraine. They have Ukrainian people, and to volunteer to help in the summer when they do business. And some of them find a man in the church. So my daughter's church have many people from Ukraine that is married to church members. And I have hope that my daughter should be married, but the pastor, he say that it's he that tell people if it's okay for them to marry. And my daughter, she is only a slave. in that church, so she is not allowed to find a man or married, and so they stopped me in that way to get any grandkids from her. And it's so selfish to do these things that the pastor do. I don't know if he still are doing it, but for about 10 years ago that what he said to someone that I know, not lie about it. It was true. So it's I think and hope that is something very positive, that what is going to happen now. I don't know if she have start to see what I'm telling people about it. If she maybe have listened at the podcast, for example. I don't know. It's but I have talking about her in that way when after God come and talk, and first for many years I was not sure who was it that was talking to me. I knew it was God that was talking to me, but I didn't know if it was Jesus as God, or if it was the God that we can't see. And I had evidence that I didn't see God talking to me. I only heard him talking in the air. But that make me not really understood who was the one that was talking to me in 2000. But then he say who he was. And later on, it was like I was full of learning other things than to learn who was the God that was talking to me in year 2000. But he say who he was, because he said to me that your daughter, my daughter was with me when God come, and God say, your daughter is going to be allowed to carry a baby in her womb. He said that to me, God, and I was very happy. But my daughter was only 15 years, 15 years in that time, and she couldn't have any babies. She had no ovary, and so when God was saying that to me, that she should be allowed to carry a baby in her womb, I started to laugh inside me, and already there I was thinking God, even if I didn't know God. I was thinking God, because I was saying to myself inside me, I said, this is not God, because if it was God, he should know that my daughter can't have a baby. That's what it was, year 2000, so the technology in this have developed so much nowadays, and so I laugh a little saying this. If it is God that's talking to me, then he should know that my daughter can't have a baby. And I laugh inside me, and not loudly. But then God was saying to me that you laugh like Abraham. He said, you laugh like Sarah did, he said. And I didn't know who is Sarah, because I didn't read the Bible. Read the Bible in that time, I didn't know. I was not in the church. I didn't know who Sarah was. So God said to me a little later, he said, you laugh like Sarah did. And Abraham, he said, when I told them, he said to me. So that was the proof, the evidence that it was God before Jesus, the first Elohim, God, Yah, and whatever people say his name is. It's so much fight about God's name, and God knows when we talk to him. He don't need to have a name because he can. He knows that we are talking to him without that we need to say his name. And then in about 1-2 months later, I find a newspaper on internet, and where they were talking about egg donation. So I call this professor that did these things. It was not allowed in Sweden to do egg donation, but she was from Finland, and so she was doing that in Finland, and we could do it in England also, but not in Sweden. But they were talking about that on the internet. So I called this professor, and the professor, she was interested, so she said that I should come to Stockholm to her research center where she was in Huddinge, and she wanted to talk to my daughter and me about it, and so we come up to Stockholm, and this professor, she said that she could help my daughter to get children. She said that all girls' babies is born with egg in them. It's not, egg doesn't grow inside the body. It's already there in the birth time when we are born. But in some or other way, the egg doesn't come out on some women, she says. So, but I can go in and take out the egg from your daughter, and then I freeze the egg down so she can use them the day when she want to have children. My daughter was only 15, so it was not in that time. It was for the future. So the professor said to me that make me believe in and know there is a God. Because the professor, she said that your daughter, she can carry a child in her womb. So so she can have a baby in her womb. And we can place egg inside her that day when she wants to have a child. And when I have to sign a paper that I gave away my daughter's body to the science research. And when I write my name, the professors say that she can't have a baby, but she can carry a baby in her womb. And I stop and, what? I was thinking, exactly that was what God told me about maybe 2 months earlier. And who could say that to me about the future if it was not God that could tell me that should happen? And then I'd be very confused through the years that my daughter never got any children. But we have to really think about what God is saying. And it's also in the Bible that, where God is talking, that we have to really understand what He is saying. We have to really pondering, think about every word. What was it really God was saying? So after many years waiting for a grandkid and that my daughter should be married and get grandkids, then I understood. God was saying that my daughter should be allowed to have a child in her womb. That's what He was saying. And that doesn't mean that He say that my daughter should have a child. That was not a promise. He said she should be allowed to carry a child in her womb. And she become allowed to carry a child in her womb of that professor. So the professor told me what God have told me already. It was not that she should have a child, but I still are hoping it. And then it becomes scary when I read about it, that all those egg that is frozen that they have for people to be pregnant, have children, that those egg is going to be destroyed, those egg, after 5 years. And I was scared. But then I started to think that my daughter, she have the egg in the science research centers freeze. Those are frozen in a special place. So that's not in the law about to destroy them. And it was the same that the professor said that my daughter could be pregnant, even if it was not in a law about egg donations. But the professor said this is research center, so we are not in the law. We are not in this law to what we can do and not to do. That only thing is about the money. You need to ask for money for us to take out the egg from your daughter and freeze them. It costs much money, very much money. And in the same time, I had to go. I have to go and be homeless in the United States. So I never could ask for money to do this research. And I was in United States and I had no money and was homeless. But I go to the library every day, and I could be on the internet in the library. So I check up. I look at on the internet if there was some clinics that did this with egg donations, and I come to know a doctor in New York that did it, and I wrote to him and asked him if he could help me, and he said he could help me, and he could talk to the Swedish clinic about this with money, and they could work together with this. And he said to me one day that he make an appointment that I should come to New York. And I was in Virginia Beach, and my daughter was with me the summer in 2002, and I didn't have any money. But then I had come to be a friend with a pastor that was a Methodist church, and he liked me, and he could speak a little Swedish, and so he was willing to help me. So he gave me money to could travel to New York with my daughter. So I got the money from that church. That church is the church that have helped me most of any church, the Methodist Church in Virginia Beach. So we took the Greyhound bus up to New York, my daughter and I, and we come to this clinic. And he check out my daughter, and then when she come back to Sweden after some months, my daughter said that she have got the money. They have got the money to do their research and take out the egg. So they did it on her. So that's a blessing. If she want to have, if she meet a man and then she want to have children, it doesn't matter what age she is in, because she have a egg that is from when she was 16 years old. So she can carry them. She can carry a baby in her womb if there will happen one day that she may meet a man. So that can be a very nice blessing. And then it was, of course, a blessing for me. Unfortunately, was it not for my daughter, because she didn't understood what was going on. But for me, it was that when I signed a paper at the professor clinics, then really sink into me that it was God that was talking to me. And I heard his voice. And I know when God is talking to me because I know his voice. It's many that have say that to me. Now I'm talking about pastors, preachers, that have said to me, you don't know who is talking to you. And then they thinking about the devil talking to me. And I say that I know who is talking to me because he was talking the first time in 2000. So there is no mistake who is talking to me. So, and I have told you that the devil have another voice than God. God is bum, 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 do so, do, boo, boo, like that. And the devil is, oh, can you do this smooth, be like a snake going into your ear, like that. Want to be your friend. But God, when he's talking, he is clear. It's like a commander talking to the soldier, military. It's so different. So it's no doubt. And then I hear what he's saying also. That and most everything that God have told me have coming through. Even in the beginning, when he started to talk to me, everything had come in true. So I know it's God that talking to me. It's only the devil that tried to make me think and doubt that it's God that is talking to me, and they envy me, so they don't want me to hear from God. They want themselves to hear from God, so that's why they're saying this mentally, this abusive talking. I don't know, I don't remember the word. They, when they hurt you in your feeling, emotional, this, I had it on my lips, but now it's gone. But you know, when people are saying something that hurt, it hurts so bad, so it hurt your heart, you know. And they do that, many preachers, to me through all these years. But I know who is talking to me, and I know who I am. I know I am God's daughter, no one else's daughter. I'm the daughter of God, and I hope you understand who you are, because you are a child of God. It's about how far you are coming to be close to God. But God knows your future, even if you don't know it yet. But God knows your future. He knows from before you are born until you coming home to Him. He knows your whole lifespan. So I can tell you that you are a child of God, even if you don't know God yet. But it will come a time when you know that you are a child of God. You can be, I have some listener that I know that is a child of the devil. But God is going to change you. He's on his way to change you to be a child of him, of God. And it's only a lie. It's only a lie in your mind and in your heart. But one day God will clean you up and you become a child of God. What you are today is mostly, especially when you listen here on my podcast, what you are today is not what you are in the future. It's what people say you are, and records tell you who you are today. But God knows your future, and the future has something else for you than what you have today. God sees your whole lifespan, and you are a child of God. Thank you for listening. Oh, it was so much spirit here. I'm so happy. I'm so thankful that I have my Father God with me. Thank you for listening.